Hi guys, welcome back to the Visual Builder Cloud Service Training Program, and this video is part of lesson 4, and here we are going to look at how to version your VBCS application. Let's suppose you have created one application and which is up and running. Now suppose that you wanted to modify your application, you wanted to make some enhancement your application. So instead of modifying the working version, create a new version and then work with the new version of that VBCS application, so that if something goes wrong, you can recover your VBCS application. How to promote your VBCS application? For example, in a real time, you may have different instances of the Visual Builder, right? Let's suppose you have three instances. One is dev, second is UAT, and the third is production. You may have developed your application in the dev instance. Once your development is completed, right, once you have tested, once you have done a sanity testing, right, you may want it to promote your code from one instance to another instance like UAT, and then from where you can give the end user to test your application. Okay, then once your application will be tested on your UAT instance, you may need to promote your application from UAT to production to make it productionized. Now, apart from this promoting, right, we will see how to switch to stage our VBCS application and how to make it live. Okay, so once you will promote your application from dev to test, right, in the dev the stage will be development, but when you will move your application from development to UAT instance, right, and you may need to give the URL of your application to the end user to test it, right, so you cannot give your application in the development mode, okay, because the end URL will not be available. So you may have convert your application, you have to change the status of your application from development to stage, so that a endpoint can fetched, or the URL can be taken to the URL can be given to the end user to test it, right? Once the application will be tested and they say, hey, I am happy with the application, now just make it live, just roll out to the production, then you will promote your application from UAT to production, and you will switch your application from stage to live. So I will show you how to make all these things in the VBCS application, and how to promote, how to change the stage from one stage to another, like development to stage and then stage to live, and what are the precautions that you need to take. So let me just switch back to the Visual Builder application and let me just go one by one. So here you see I have one application, employee application 1.0, and the version is 1.0 by default. Okay, let's suppose your application, this application is working in the production environment, right? After that, you may need to make certain changes in your application, you need to make certain enhancement. Okay, so what you can do, you, instead of using the same version, right, you need to create a different version, and then you can make that enhancement so that your previous version may intact, right? And this is the recommended approach, this is always a suggested approach. Whenever you wanted to make the changes in your working version, don't make the changes in the same version, create a new version and then make it. Then in order to create a new version, just click on this action menu corresponding to this application, and from there you can just right click and then click on new version. Once you click on this, a dialog box open and it will suggest you which version you can use. So the version can be in only like 1x.y.z. So here my default version is 1.0. Now you can make it 1.0.1. It is same as we have seen in the integration, like measure, minor, and then patch, and then click on the create button. So once a new version will be created, here you will see it, all the version will be grouped together, and it will show you the 1. Version plus 1.0.1. Now you can change in this new version instead of in the 1.0. So this is how you can do versioning of your application. Okay. Now, so this is first. Now you may need to export your integration. You may need to promote your code from one instance to another. So you may need to first export your integration, then you can import on your target instance. Okay. Now, in order to export it, here there's an action menu. You can use any one of the action menu to export. Let's suppose, hey, I wanted to use the version 1.0. So what you can do, you just click on this action menu and then click on an export button. So once you export it, it will open up dialog box. Here it will give you two options: export with data or export without data. So this option only will come if you have business object in your application. If you don't have a business object in your application, this dialog box will not come. Now it is saying, let's suppose you have two business object or three business object or a single object, single business object, and in an object you have a data as well. So it is saying you wanted to export this application along with data or without data. If you wanted to use with data, you may need to use this export with data. If you don't wanted to use this data, don't use that data, then you can use export without data. Why this option is given? Let's suppose you are promoting your application from dev to UAT instance. It might be possible that your developer has done lot of sanity testing with lot of junk data, with some of junk data, right? And you don't want to get this data in your UAT instance. Then you can use this export without data. Business object will be there, but in the business object, data will not be imported. But if you say, hey, I wanted to use that data, so you can use export with data. Just click this. Once you click this, a file will be downloaded with a extension zip. Now here you see a zip file has been downloaded with name application employee application _1_0. Now you have application. Now you can migrate your application to the different instance. So I have another instance. Let me just open it. So here you see I have landed onto the another instance. Okay. As of now, there is no application here. So, and here you will see the import application. Just click on the import application, and then here you will promote it with the dialog box where it will ask application from Oracle Developer Git or application from file. If you have your application under the Git, you can use this option. If you have in your local drive, you can use this option. Just like this. And from here you can upload a zip file or drag one here. Let me just click on this. It will allow me to select the file. So let me just select from my downloaded folder. So I have just selected the file and it was with 10.1.0.6. Okay, I can change it if you want it. I can change the name of this application. Okay, now here you see the application name is one employee application and then employee application. Now you just click on the import button. So once the application will be imported, here you can see that application and you can open that application and you can see all the data which was there in your dev instance should be there. Now just open this application and see the business object and then open your business object and then data. Let it be first, please. Here you see all the data which was in my development instance has been imported into my target instance. Okay, here you see. So this application we have created in my earlier video. Now, so you see this is your, now the application is the development status. Now since you have migrated your code from one instance to another, and I say, hey, this is my UAT instance. So first you have to change the status. Then if, okay, let's suppose you are not changing the status and you may need to run this application. Here you see this is a preview button. If you click on a preview button, here you see the URL will be preview. Okay, which means it is under the development. Now you need to switch your application. How you can do this? Just click on this. If your application status is in development, so here you will get a stage option. So this stage option only will come if your application is development. Now just click on a stage. Once you click on a stage, here again it will say you wanted to clean the database or you wanted to populate stage with development data. It is same. Like if there's a data under this application, right, and if you still wanted to use this data, then you can use the first option. Then you can use the second option, populate stage with development data. If you don't need this data, you can say, hey, I need the clean database, but business object will remain there. Okay, here you can see it is saying all business object data will be copied from development to stage. If you use this option, it will say no business data will be copied, but I wanted to use this option, and then stage. Once it will change the states from development to stage. Here you can see the status is stage. Now it will show in the green. Now which means your application has been converted into the UAT instance, or you can give the URL to the end user. Now how to get the URL? Now just click on the stage, and here you see the employee application. So this is the name of your application. Here you see employee application. So that will become the context of your application. Now just click on this and then click on this employee application. So this is the end URL of your application, which you can give to the end user to test it. Here you see the version 1.0 and the data has been populated. Now the user can test it. All the functionality will be there. Okay, so this is how you can change the stage from one to another. Okay, let's suppose you wanted to, once the application has been tested, you may need to promote this to the production instance. Then same ways you can export this application, and then if you click on the export, here again it will say export with data or export without data. Now let's consider this is the production instance. Now just click on this, and then again here you will see the publish. Once it will be in the stage mode, it will show the publish. Click on a publish, and here again it will say include data from stage or publish application with a clean database. I say I wanted to clean my database. I don't need any data because that stage data I can't use in my production. So use this. No object business object data will be copied from stage to live. Now just click on publish. Once your application is published, which means your application is live, and it will show you the live. Here you see it showing in the blue, which means your application in the live. Now if you open this, and here just click open this business, data is still there. Okay, you can just okay, maybe some issues, but now go back to the application, and here you see the live mode. Now again just click on this live mode and then click on this. Now the URL will change, and here it will show the URL as live. Now let the application to be opened. Here you see the data has not been populated. It will show in the business object, but it will not populate the data here. So this is how you can do versioning. You can promote your code from one instance to another, and you can change the stage from development to stage, and then stage to live. Okay guys, thank you so much. Bye bye, have a good day.